Okay. So I'm excited to be with you. Janet, I'm going to let you kind of kick this off and then I'll take it and run with it.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for being here today. It truly is an honor to get to spend time with you. I know you have so many different things going on because I personally know many of your stories and your journeys and what a busy week you've had and a busy day you've had. So thank you for taking time to be with Eric and I today. I truly pray that this is a blessing for you, as has been a blessing for me. Those that are part of my personal team know I talk about Teamzy all the time. Many of you are Teamzy users already. Some of you are brand new and know nothing about Teamzy. So we welcome you with whatever level that you're at. I started Teamzy last January. I had been hearing about it from lots of different places and decided, you know what, I'm ready to get serious. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to show that I can quit teaching, that I can stay home with my kids, that I can create the life that I want to have. And Teamzy sounds like a tool to get me there. And so I jumped in, and as you've watched my journey, as I promoted to QSSC and did the qualifications for SSC, both in the month of October, the SSC promotion will be official November 1st. And the reason for that is Teamzy. In huge part is Teamzy. And also thanks to Debbie and Frank Walton, all their support, and Juice Plus Home Office, and just an amazing group of people that I get to work with. Teamzy was the system. Teamzy was the thing to call my monkey brain. My monkey brain wanted to go off in a bunch of different directions. Teamzy gave me the structure, gave me the focus of just pull up this tab and just do this. Just do this. It gave me the tools that if I had 15 minutes of my lunch hour at school, or I had 20 minutes on a planning time, I could tunnel vision and just do this. Or if my son was tugging at me, I could be like, give me 10 minutes. And I could grab it 10 minutes. So I'm really grateful for Eric for creating such a wonderful system, and for gathering us all together today, and just for spending time with us today, Eric. We're delighted to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And so here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you Teamzy. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll show you how to set it up. It's very easy. And I'll show you how to crush a power hour. So the idea of Teamzy is that you get to do everything you need to get done in your business. You'll get done in less than an hour a day. Okay. Can I get an amen on that one? And like Janet said, you could do it in little 10-minute spots here and there. You could get it done in just a little bit of time, because we know you've got busy lives. And but also, in addition to showing you Teamzy, I also want to teach you just a little bit about the philosophy of relationship marketing, which is what Teamzy is designed to help you do. So I need to give you some basics on that too. And then at the end, if you guys are still game, I'll stay for some Q&A. Sound good? Okay, and we are recording, which is good because I'm going to go fast, and it's going to seem like you're sipping water from a fire hose at times. And you might not get notes down quickly, but like I said, it's going to be recorded, and Janet will have the playback so you guys can rewind later if you need to. All right. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. So let's get started. Here we go. First thing I want to talk about is this. You guys see my slides okay?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. That's weird. Why is it doing it like that? Did they update something again on me?
Always an update, right?
I don't want to show this. Yeah, now they're showing, you guys are seeing my next slide too, right? I don't want to do that. Huh, that's weird. I apologize, guys. I didn't know an update happened, or I would have played it ahead of time. So let's see.
And Debbie, I saw the message that yes, it will be recorded. So I'll share the recording with you guys later. Because some people are just getting off work. Some people are busy driving school buses, all different kinds of things.
I'm getting rid of some of this stuff. Okay, that'll work. All right, so this is what I want to talk to you about, which is how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. So there's 3 pieces, right? One is we want you to be successful, but you can't do that just because you're good at it. You have to have systems. You have to have systems so you can consistently execute, so that you can duplicate with your duplicate with your team members. They can duplicate those systems. Relationship marketing is the way to do it. That's the best method, and I'm going to show you guys why, and we're going to get it done in less than an hour a day, which is pretty cool. Okay, let me see something here. Hey there. Well, now I'm seeing my slides, but I don't see you guys, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. You're still there, right?
Right. We don't see your slides at the moment, though.
Oh, you don't?
We do not see slides.
Okay, let's try this again.
We'll just imagine.
Janet, you just had to say, I hope Zoom works perfectly today. I'm blaming on you. I'm just kidding.
All right. Okay, now we're seeing slides.
Now you're seeing my slides.
My story is what we see.
Oh, that's working. And I can see your beautiful faces. Okay, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. Okay, great. I don't know what we did differently, but it's all good. I like to know there's people on with me, otherwise it's just kind of strange. So just a little backstory. As Janet mentioned, I'm the CEO and creator of Teamzy. But just to let you guys know, my background is not network marketing. I'm not one of those network marketing gurus that have been teaching people 50 years how to do network marketing. It's funny because I meet these guys and they're always surprised I've never heard of them. But that's because I'm an outsider. So my background is in business coaching and consulting. I have been teaching people how to build a relationships-based business for, just over 20 years now. And I come from the real estate industry originally, and then have expanded in my consulting business to consult just about every kind of small business owner you can possibly imagine. And personally, I fell into network marketing by accident about, how old is Teamzy? Teamzy's 5 years old, so about 6 years ago. And I was just, I was working for a large consulting company. I had a great job, but I had this this entrepreneurial itch to do something else on the side. Anybody feel that? Yeah. So I wanted to start something else. Network marketing is a no-brainer. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You don't have to invest any money. Everything is supported for you, right? You get a great company like Juice Plus, you're good to go. The problem that I had was I didn't have any extra time. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I was working full time. I felt like I was constantly working. Here's a shot of the family. I need to update this. This one's about a year old. I was always working. I was never with my family. I just felt like I never got to see these guys. I used to joke that my kids were in pajamas when I left for work, and they were back in pajamas when I got home from work. And here I want to start a business on the side. How am I going to squeeze this in? But I knew that if I could get the network marketing business to take off, I could, as Janet was talking about, replace my job and have more flexibility, have more income to be with my family. So what I did was I looked at the calendar, I looked at the schedule, and I said, okay, I'm going to dedicate at least 1 hour a day to building my business. So once I had made that commitment, and I knew that was enough, having coached so many business owners to build their business, I just knew I needed to be really effective and efficient with that 1 hour. And so I started looking for tools to help me leverage that time so that I could just do what I needed to get done in that hour, right? Not be busy. How many times are we busy but not productive? And what I found was, despite the fact that there's, millions, I think at the time when I started, there were 30 million people in network marketing in the US. There were no systems, there was no software, there were no tools. I couldn't believe it. There were a couple things that were honestly very complicated and focused on the wrong stuff. They weren't focused on building relationships. So long story short, I got together a team of much smarter people than me, and we built Teamzy. So I knew I needed it. I knew you guys would probably use it too. And it's actually been 5 years now, so I need to update that. But in about 5 years, we've had about 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which is kind of amazing, humbling, right? And our active Juice Plus distributors using Teamzy, they've been getting great results, averaging about 18 customers and 12 recruits over 90 days. Okay, over 90 days, which is pretty great. And then you hear stories like Janet going, I went from QSSC, SSC in the same month, bam. That's what the momentum builds and looks like, right? Which is pretty cool. And come on, slides. And of course, we are very honored to have been endorsed by Juice Plus and to be working with the Juice Plus corporate to help support you guys. So if you're not using Teamzy, then you're going to want to go to teamzy.com/JP to get a free trial started, so you can start using it. I guarantee you by the end of today's Zoom, you're going to want to try it out. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the topic, relationship marketing. What is relationship marketing? Have you guys heard this term before? So when I started, everyone nods, I love it, yeah. When I started teaching this topic to network marketers 5 years ago, no one had heard of it. Now it's a buzzword, but I still think that people are not getting really what it is. I think it's kind of a buzzword people apply to old school tactics, which we'll discuss a little bit. But first off, I want you to understand that relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of the sales and products. It puts the relationships and the people ahead of the sales and products. So one of the reasons I believe that our industry has a bad reputation, have you guys come across people who have a bad image of what we do? Yeah, it's because for so long, people have been taught to go for the sale and sacrifice the relationship in the process. And so we're going to hold up that relationship first. And I'm going to show you how you get better results doing that. Also, this isn't some abstract feel-good concept. I've had leaders go, nah, relationships are nice, Eric, but I need people who are going to really go for it, right? Well, no, this isn't like a feel-good concept. This is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. Okay, it's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. Also, I want you guys to get this principle, which is that developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. So as a business owner, you guys are the owners of your business, correct? Your number one duty is not to market Juice Plus products. I mean, they're great products. Your duty is to develop and deepen relationships. Does it make sense? Once you guys understand that, it makes what you do in your power hour much easier to do it. Okay. And what we do with those relationships is we turn them into advocates. We turn them into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. We turn them into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. So let me just kind of talk about this point for a quick second, because the traditional approach, almost every trainer that I've seen train in our industry, some are a little harsher and more aggressive than others, are a little bit more relational, but they all kind of head in the same direction, which is you just gotta make like an offer to everybody you know, right? You just got to go to every single person you know, or everybody on your list, and you just got to send them. You just got to show them the opportunity. And the idea is that a few of them might say yes, right? Does this sound familiar, you guys? And the problem with this, I call this the go for no, and you've heard go for no. The problem with this is that, let's say you message 100 people and 3 say yes. That means that you forced 97 people to say no. Does it make sense? And so now what we do with those 97 people, well, they're a no, right? Chuck them, get rid of them. They're a no. I'm going to work with these 3. So we throw away those people. I say it was like we're tossing dead bodies over our shoulder. These are our friends, our family, our relationships. Not interested in Juice Plus, moving on, right? I mean, can you imagine if that's how we found our spouses? If we walked into a room with 100 people and just asked all 100 of them to marry us, and then what would we do with our lives if we actually spent it with the 3 who said yes that way? Right? No, a lot of your spouse is probably in the room, but that's just a strange way to approach it. Does this make sense? But instead, when you work on building a relationship organically, really focusing on bringing value to another person, well, that person may or may not be interested in Juice Plus, but I guarantee you this, they're very likely to still be an advocate for you, because they'll be so excited about how you're doing it and what you're doing and the mission you're on that they're going to want to tell other people about it. When they come across somebody who has a need, they're like, oh, you need to talk to Eric, right? He has this really cool business. Does this make sense? So what we do with relationship marketing, and I went a little bit off script here because it's kind of an important piece. I don't think they miss this advocate piece, is we're building an army of advocates. We're building an army of advocates. So when you're going through your list, connecting, and I'm going to show you guys how we connect to make people's day, you're still going to get those 3 people to say yes. You're still going to get those sales that you would have got if you had pounded through your list. But the other 97 people, they're still in the mix. They're still part of your relationships. You haven't damaged that. In fact, you've improved those relationships. Does this make sense? Are you guys with me? Yeah. If you guys ever meet my wife, ask her how many times she rejected me before she said yes. All right. Hold on, this isn't playing. Let's see. Here we go. Next principle, relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Everything I'm teaching you today, if you're one of those few people, there's 1 to 3% of people this won't work for, because they just want to go for it. I don't have time for this. Just tell me, right? I don't think that's any of you though. I can tell. I could just tell by how excited you were about my little video at the beginning of our call. I know you're my people. It's all good. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Now, here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. If people trust you, then you don't have to convince them. You don't have to sell them. You can get right to helping them, right? You get right to helping them. Trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. How many of you are terrified of being seen as an icky salesperson by your friends and family? Well, that's me. I'll raise my hands twice for you guys that didn't. This is a big thing for me. And I know it is for a lot of people. We don't want to come across as an icky salesperson. That's not our goal, right? We want to help people. We want to get to helping people. And then the best part about trust is you get to go for yes. So I've already explained the problem with go for no. Instead, we're going for yes. We're going for yes, right? It might not be right away, but we're getting there. Okay. So how do you actually go about building the trust? Today, I'm going to share the 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Okay, the 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Just go through them really quick, then I'll explain them out. Then we'll jump into Teamzy and I'll show you how to apply all of this in your power hour. Okay, so here we go. Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay, so chemistry is building a connection with someone. It's building a connection with someone. Where do you have common ground with them? What is it about you they can relate to? This is mega important because people prefer to do business with a friend. Okay, this is an important principle. Write that down. People prefer to do business with a friend. Okay, number 2. The opposite is nobody wants to do business with someone they don't like, right? All right. So number 2, character. What is it about you? Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you are relatable. So it's through our character that they trust us, right? Now, here's the thing that most of us kind of get wrong about character is that we think our character is based on what we've done in our life. Right? Like I'm a person of good character. I've been honest. I've treated people fairly. I'm a person of good character. Would you guys say that's true? But I want you to understand something. You are the only person who knows what you've done. Character is what you're doing now. Character is what you're doing now. It's being intentional every moment about how you're showing up in life, how you're caring for others. This is down to, how you follow up, how you communicate with people, how you take care of your customers, even to things like, how courteous are you out in the world? Are you a good tipper? Are you polite to people? Are you courteous on the highways in your vehicle, or are you a maniac? Do you return the shopping cart to the shopping cart area in the parking lot, right? No, that's just a personal thing I'm on. I want everyone to do that. You guys get the point though? Every little thing that we do, people are looking at us and seeing what kind of character we have. How do you post on social media? Are your posts for the benefit of your audience, or are they for your own gratification? Make sense? So people are looking constantly to our character. And if they feel good about our character, if they feel like you care for them, then they'll trust you. Make sense? Think about businesses that have disappointed you with their lack of character, right? Is it hard to do business with those companies now, or those individuals? Absolutely. Okay, number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. So there's 2 pieces to this. The first piece is, do you know about your products? Do you know how they work? Do you know how they can help me? Right? Are you competent? I mean, there's a lot of people representing Juice Plus, true? So why should I buy it from you? Because you're my cousin? I'll be honest, I'm a proud owner of 2 tower gardens. And they're not as easy as you think when you first get them. I had a lot of questions, right? I had a lot of questions. And luckily I picked when I know a ton of Juice Plus people. So when I picked the person to buy the towers from, I picked the one I knew was an expert tower gardener, right? And he helped me tremendously. Why did I pick him? Because of his competence. And he's a great guy. Obviously his character is huge. And I love the guy. Chemistry. Do you see why I picked him? I loved the guy. He's a man of great character, really knew the ins and outs of the Tower Garden. Does this make sense? So the first thing that you need to do is become competent. If you're new, you need to learn, you need to learn, you need to learn, you need to get on. You guys have such amazing research studies, really high profile doctors that are doing trainings all the time on Juice Plus products. You need to be consuming that information so that you really are an expert on your product. Does this make sense? When you're brand new and you don't know that stuff, then you need to be telling them about your upline, how amazingly competent they are, so they know you're connected to the knowledge. Make sense? Okay. The second piece is, okay, great. You know the products. I'm in. Help me solve my problem. Get me my products. Now, why should I join your team? Do I believe you could successfully mentor me to be successful in this business? How are you showing me that you're a business person, that you're somebody that's going to be successful in a Juice Plus franchise? Make sense? And so it's important that we are demonstrating, that's the key word, demonstrating that you're good at what you do, demonstrating that you're a business person. How do you demonstrate something? It's how you walk, it's how you talk, it's what you share on social media, it's sharing the journey. It's not like, I told you guys I come from the real estate industry. I talk about an industry where people pretend to be more important than they are. Do I have any real estate agents on this call? So that's not what I mean. I don't mean puffing yourself up and pretending to be something you're not, but you need to show people that you're learning. You show them the little milestones, right? I mean, the first time I'm not even a Juice Plus rep. The first time I had a tower that was full of beautiful plants and I put a picture of it on social media, people went nuts. They were like, wow, what is that? How is that? How did you do that? Like, show them what you're doing, show them that you're learning, that you're becoming competent. And then as you cross milestones in the business, share that. I won this amazing tumbler this month because I helped 3 people in the business. This was a gift from Juice Plus. Something small like that is a milestone that shows people that you are becoming a better, stronger business person. Does this make sense? Really important. So chemistry, character, competence, these are hugely important in building trust, especially with family, who sometimes are the last ones to jump on the trust train, right? Especially if you tried and failed a few times in your life. Anybody like that? Yeah, me, definitely. The last ones were always my siblings. They were the last ones to buy from me because they're like, what are you doing now, Eric? Right? Okay, here we go. So there's a principle behind these three. Then we'll jump to number 4. When somebody's going to do business with you or they're considering it, these are the questions they ask themselves. Okay. They want to know, can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? You can see now where chemistry, character, and competence comes from. This principle is universal. Okay. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now there's 3 options. The first one is, no, I can't trust you. No, you don't care about me, right? You're not good at what you do. If they feel this is any of these are a no, they will never do business with you. And they will, in most cases, actively discourage others from doing business with you. Okay. If they are a yes about these 3 things, yes, 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 you've got an advocate. This is somebody who will go out of their way to promote your business to others. You guys have any of these in your business now? People who go out of their way to promote your business to others? See, the goal is that you'll have hundreds of them, okay, working this system. And the in-between option is, not sure. I think they're yeses, but I don't know yet. Those people will raise objections. They'll raise objections. Okay. Have you guys ever received objections? So if you haven't, you're not trying hard enough. So objections come from, I'm not sure. You haven't convinced me yet that I can completely trust you, that you care about me and that you're really good at what you do. So I'm going to raise objections. Again, these are subconscious. It's not like they're consciously going, let me raise an objection now to test it. No, it's subconscious. But an objection tells you something. It tells you need to invest in this relationship more. You need to earn this trust. Make sense? Okay. Number 4. This is where the rubber hits the road. Consistency. Everything else is well and good, but if you can't do it consistently, no one will believe you. True? The biggest red flag in the world is these words coming out of somebody's mouth. Trust me. Anybody who has to tell you to trust me, hasn't bothered to earn your trust. Make sense? So we got to earn trust by being consistent. It's so important. And we earn trust, believe it or not, by being consistent in all areas of our life. You know, those of you who are consistently living healthy lifestyles, consistent about whatever it could be. Maybe it's a workout routine. Like, people see these things and they admire it, right? How many of you are consistent with your Juice Plus? Like, your product's the product, it's your thing, you share it. Hopefully everybody, right? A little side note, I'm just gonna tell you this quick story because it's actually a Juice Plus story. I'm not gonna name names, but I had a Juice Plus person, been in the business for like, 10 years. How many of you have been 10 years or more? I know there's at least a couple of you. And he came to me at the last Juice Plus conference I was able to attend, which I think was Austin, Texas. Was that the last one you actually had? No, you had another one since then. And he said, my business has been kind of down. I'm not really sure what I'm doing wrong. And I talked to him for a minute and I found out that he has not been taking Juice Plus for 6 months. I'm like, there's the source of your problem. Because you really think it makes an impact? Yes, it does. Every word out of your mouth isn't right. Does this make sense? So you got to be consistent. How many of you are consistent on social media? People know that you're doing it. Another fun story I'm just going to say is, I don't believe in being spammy. Obviously, you guys are getting that from me, but you also still have to let people know that you're available to help them, right? Good friend of mine who's now, man, did she just hit NMD? She might be qualifying for NMD right now. Anyways, I'm not going to drop her name either, but she asked me to look at her Facebook page, and I did. And she was doing a great job of showcasing her towers and all this stuff, and salads in a jar, all these great posts. But never did she say, I'm a Juice Plus representative, and if you're interested in learning more, let me know. Never. I went through her whole page. I said, nobody knows you're selling this stuff. She goes, really? I'm like, yeah, you have to at least put it up and say, if you'd like help, right? Does this make sense? So it's important that we're consistent, that people know we're in business, that we are, this is part of our journey. So this is all important, but the really important piece, if you want to build a huge business, well, before I get there, let me just give you this principle, is that people do respect your consistency and they desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and they desire it for themselves, which means when they see you being consistent in any area, it's attractive. It attracts people to your team. It attracts people to your business. Make sense? And I guarantee you there are relationships who will wait a while to see if you can be consistent before they come and support your business. True? Yeah. Okay. So where I was getting to was this. This is the checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar used to say. Are you as consistent with your relationships? Right? I mean, staying in touch, investing in relationships as you are about maybe posting on social, taking your Juice Plus every day. That's easy, right? But are you as consistent about staying in touch with your relationships? Because this is where the business is truly built. Okay. Relationship building is a contact sport, which means you have to be in regular contact with people if you want to have relationships with them. Okay, you have to be in regular contact with them. But I know your time is scarce, which is why we have Teamzy. Don't worry, I'm going to show you this app, lets you stay in touch with people. So easy, okay? Super easy. All right, but here's the principle. This is the big principle of the day. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay, now just really quick on this. If you guys are there and you're dressed, I want you to turn your camera on just for a second. Okay, wait, where did it go? Where's my stop share? What is happening here, people? It's really weird. Like, this is not the same Zoom I'm used to at all. I can't get out of the share. There we go. That seemed to work. Of course, I had to close my whole presentation to make it work. Okay. All right. So, all right, I'm out of the share. I can see your faces, thankfully. So really quick on this. Thank you guys for bearing with me as I figure out Zoom 22.16 or whatever it is. just really quick, how many of you have ever received from somebody you love a great card or letter that had a handwritten message in it that when you read the message, it was like, oh man, gets you right in the heart. Jenna's got one right now. Everyone, right? Okay, good. And if you've never received a letter like that, I'm sorry. Put your address in the chat. We're going to all write you one right now. Okay. But you get a good one and it's like, man, it really gets you. Now, how many, you probably all thought of at least one specific one. Do you still have it? Did you keep it? Lisa's like, yeah, I kept it. Who's got a stash of cards and letters that's pretty deep from over the years? Yeah, totally. Right. We all keep this. Isn't this funny? And I have taught this course all over the world, Asia, wherever people show up and let me speak English, I'll do it. And everyone does this. Everybody saves them. In fact, often when somebody that we love passes on, we keep their cards and letters, don't we? It's the thing we treasure the most. Now, here's another example. These are birthday postcards that I received. Have you guys ever received something like this? These are from my life insurance person. Now, I thought this was really funny because he actually sent me the same card 2 years in a row. I thought that was funny. And it even has the same handwritten message 2 years in a row, word for word. Okay, so he's really going deep on personalizing these, right? So when you guys get postcards like this, do you keep these in the special set? No way. Is it nice to get something like this from a business? Maybe a little bit, but it doesn't make a deep impact, right? It goes right in the trash. Now, this is important, going back to our principle. If you want to deepen a relationship, you've got to invest time and connect personally, right? So this requires no investment of time, correct? That's why we don't put any value on it. It didn't take any of his time. We don't put any value on it. The other piece is this is not a personal connection. This is generic. In fact, if you guys look at the message, the beautiful message that I got 2 years in a row on the same card, it just says happy birthday. It doesn't say Eric anywhere. It's generic. So generic message, no investment of time, we put zero value on it. This is important because we're going to do the opposite. We're going to invest a little bit of time into one specific person, which makes a deep impact. But I want you guys to understand the difference because there's a lot of shiny objects out there saying, do this marketing system. It's automated. It's so easy. You don't have to do a thing. And this is what the receivers feel. Generic. They don't care about me. They're just trying to get something from me. Does it make sense? Yeah, good. All right. So really quick, going back to Teamzy. So we got that concept. You guys get that one down. Investing time, connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. So this is all great philosophically. How many of you guys are with me still philosophically? Yes, I want to do my business this way. Great. But you got to have a system. You can't just have philosophy. You got to have a system, right? You need a way to stay in contact with all of your relationships, know when you're going to contact them, know what you're going to say to them. Does anyone stare at the screen and go, what do I say? And make sure that people aren't falling through the cracks, right? This is why we built Teamzy. Okay, let me dive out of this thing. I think I'm figuring it out. Okay, great. That time it worked. Teamzy, here we go. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually do the setup real quick for you guys. Okay, so I gave you guys that URL earlier, which was teamzy.com/JP. So if you're not already using Teamzy, go to teamzy.com/JP and start your free trial. And we'll talk about it at the end, but there's a special price for Juice Plus partners as well, which is really cool. Okay, so but the trial is free. So here's what happens when you come into your free trial. I'm going to take you through the steps of setup. It's super easy. You're going to see me on the first screen. Okay, you'll watch it, but we'll skip it today. And then the first real thing I want you to look at here is setting your income goal in Teamzy. Setting your income goal in Teamzy. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell Teamzy what you'd like to be making a year from now. If everything went perfectly this year, what income level would you like to be at a year from now? So you can see that my goal was $150,000 a year. When I started my business, that's what my salary was. And I just wanted to replace it. Anybody have the goal of replacing their salary? Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do, was to replace my salary so I could spend more time with my family. Now, if your goal is smaller than that, you can just kind of slide that little slider down. Now, as you're setting your goal, I want you to notice something. See how the daily targets change? Yeah. So if you really want to go crazy, you go up to 500. Look, it says, whoa, Nelly, we love it. Okay. But I think everyone should set a goal of about 6 figures. Okay. Because that'll still be way less than an hour a day in Teamzy. Okay. But I'm going to put mine up to 150 because that's what I'm used to doing. Okay. So once you have it set to where you want, you click continue. Now what happens is Teamzy is now set up to my goal. So when you do this, it'll be customized to your goal and everything will match that goal, which is pretty cool. Now, the next step we're going to do is we're going to get all of our contacts imported into Teamzy. And you want to do it in this order. Your team first, then your customers, then, then you're all the prospects, people who aren't team or customers. So maybe you want to import your Facebook friends or your Instagram followers. You can do all that really easily. In fact, we have a new tool, which is pretty cool. If you're using Google Chrome, like I am, you can actually just click this button and it'll automatically sync your Facebook and Instagram into Teamzy, which is really cool. If you don't use Google Chrome, then there's instructions on how to download that data from Facebook and Instagram and upload it into Teamzy. I loved the fact that it did my Facebook friends list because it was a list of people I knew already that I could immediately start connecting with. Does that make sense? So I didn't have to think who should be on my list. I just pulled in my Facebook list and I started connecting. Okay, so once you got your contacts in one place, now what's cool about this is Teamzy is cloud-based, which means your contacts will always be here, organized in one place. How many of you have a sticky note system or you're scratching things on pads of paper and then you go to try to find stuff, you can't find it? Maybe you've got a spreadsheet, it seemed like a great idea, but you haven't updated in a while, right? And am I hitting anybody between the eyes? So now it'll all be in one place, in your phone, in your computer, it's always there. You don't need to write somebody's name and number on a napkin, you put it right in Teamzy. Make sense? Now, besides it being in one place, Teamzy does something magical with it, which I'll explain to you in a second so that nobody falls through the cracks. Once they're in Teamzy and you use Teamzy consistently, you can't miss anybody, which is pretty neat. Okay, so you guys are on the Teamzy dashboard now. Now, this is the Juice Plus custom version. Okay, so everything should be pretty comfortable when you get in here. I'm going to give you just a really quick tour of this dashboard. I won't go over everything, but I want to just show you the things that you need to really get in here and rock. So when you look at this, you'll see right here where it says today's activities. These are the goals that we set when we gave it our income goal. So my income goal was $150,000 a year, but Teamzy's telling me what I need to do today. Does that make sense? Today, because it's the only day we have, true? And if you want to have a business that's big, who wants to have a business that's big? You need to have a focus that's small. If you want to have a business that's big, you need to have a focus that's small. So we focus on what we need to get done today. So you can see my goal is to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 partners. So 19 people. What does this mean when I say connect? It means I'm going to send them a message and my goal is to make their day. Does that sound fun? I'm going to message them and my goal is to make their day. I call it the make someone's day mindset. And this is the best way to approach reaching out to people. I'm not going to reach out to try to get them to join my team or to buy Juice Plus. I just want to make their day. That's step 1. Okay. So I'm going to do that with my prospects, my customers, and my partners. And then I've got a goal to share 3 times. Now, what is a share? A share, this is really simple, you guys, because people are like, what about this, Eric? What about that? A share is when I share a product solution for somebody or when I share the business opportunity. Does that make sense? We can have 100 conversations before I do the share, but that's what the share is. And I'll log those when they happen. And then I've got a goal to add new people to Teamzy. I added Janet to my Teamzy, so she's my 1 ad so far for the day. I've got 2 more to go. Why do I need to add? Eric, I already know 5,000 people. Why do I need to add people to Teamzy every day? You guys need to understand that a business needs fresh relationships always to thrive. Okay, so we call it fresh. My business partner and I, Mike, we call it fresh water. You need fresh water in your business. It's like, imagine your business is a beautiful lake. How many of you guys have been to a beautiful lake this summer? Imagine your business is a beautiful lake, teeming with life, right? But if you shut off the fresh water source, the lake grows stagnant and dies. Does this make sense? So that's why I'm teaching you guys. Okay, part of what you're going to be doing is trying to meet new people and add them to Teamzy, just a little bit all the time. Okay, a little bit all the time. So those are my goals for the day. For my power hour is I want to do my prospects, my customers, my partners, try to get some shares in and get some ads to my thing. Then I'll be done for the day. How cool is that? Pretty cool, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Now, what Teamzy's done, I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. See this power hour section right here? So Teamzy keeps all of my contacts, all their information, right? I have everything, like their name, the name of their spouse, their dog, their favorite drink from Starbucks, whatever information you want to keep on people, it's in Teamzy. But what it does on the power hour is it pulls people out front. So I don't have to dig through all that. And it just says, Eric, here's who's next. Connect with this person. Does this make sense? There's really no thinking involved. Once you've set up Teamzy, you don't have to think about this at all. Now, if you'll notice next to people's names is a number, and that is the amount of stars I've given them. So I've given everybody a number of stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star. Does it make sense? You guys, yeah, you guys get this concept. And the stars is really the level of trust that I have with them, and it controls how often they come up on my list. So a 5-star person, they're the first people on my list, and they come back every 30 days automatically. I don't have to send them a message and then go, maybe I should follow up on Friday to see if you don't have to think about it. They're going to come back within 30 days. 4-star people, 60 days. 3-star people, 90 days. 2-star people, 120 days. This makes sense? So if I barely know you, you don't want to hear from me every single month. You'll think I'm a weirdo, but every 3 months might be perfect. Make sense? Okay, and if you're my best friend, I want to talk to you more often. So the stars kind of give the priority. So once you've done that in Teamzy, then it creates these lists automatically. So my power hour, guys, has 4 lists: prospects, customers, my partners, and my follow-ups. Okay, so let's go through this really quickly. To do a power hour, again, we're just going to send a message to make somebody's day. And you guys will be able to do this very quickly, okay? So my goal at $150,000 a year, this power hour would probably take me 30 minutes. And now it might take you 3 hours your first week because you're not going to be as efficient as I am. But once you get after this and realize you don't have to overthink it, it's really, really simple. So look, Janet is the first person on my list. We always work from left to right. Do I have anybody from Israel or the Far East in this call? No? Okay, great. So we all used to working from left to right. Good. So we're going to start with prospects. Janet's the first person on my list. I know I want to message her to make her day. What am I going to say? What's a good thing to say? I mean, this is where I used to get stuck. It took me a long time to really figure out how to do this well. And I would do these team calls. People say, you make it sound so easy, Eric, but I stare at my screen. So about a year after we had launched Teamzy, we decided to go in and add my favorite scripts. So there's 100 of my favorite scripts in Teamzy for you guys to use. Okay. And these scripts work amazing. So I'm just going to show you how to do this. I have to message Janet right here where it says scripts. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to get a script. We're Facebook buddies, so I'm going to message her on Facebook. And so I've got some scripts to choose from. I'm going to just pick the first one off the list. Here's how it reads. It says, hi, Jane, just popping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. Super simple, non-threatening. It's just to make someone's day script. I'm going to copy that script by clicking copy script. And now I can go paste it into Facebook, but I'm going to paste it first in Teamzy so I can do the editing. Actually, this is the least I've ever had to change a name, Janet. Just put a T on it. I love that. See? Jane's like my placeholder name. She's our avatar. Jane's a Teamzy avatar. You guys know what a business avatar is? You guys should do this. This is another training, but your business avatar is when you sit down and imagine who is your client, who's your customer, you create that personality. And then you build a business around helping that person succeed. Does this make sense? So for my business, it's Jane. And Jane has a lot, probably with a lot of you, has a lot of similarities with you. That's why you're here listening to me today. So anyways, that was a side note. So now I've got I've changed the name. Little pro tip in case you guys didn't get this from my PowerPoint. You got to put the first name in the first message. Does this make sense? Because it needs to be personal. And if you put, hey girl or hey friend, they immediately think this went to 100 people. Does this make sense? It needs to be personalized. You don't have to do it every single time on the back and forth, but every time you start a new chat with somebody, use their first name. Now, the other thing I like to do is just maybe add a couple of emojis. That also makes it feel like it's a real live message. Does this make sense? So now I've got it the way I want it. I'm just going to copy this. Again, you could have done this directly in Facebook Messenger, but I like to do it in Teamzy so that I don't accidentally hit send with the wrong name. I've done it. All right, so I've got Messenger open right up here on another tab. So I'll just open that up. We're gonna search Janet. There she is. Okay, great. So look, you can see this is our real chat. I'm just gonna send her this message. Boom, sent. Do you guys see how easy that was? I just pasted it in and sent it. Don't hover over this and overthink this moment. Just send it, okay? Now we're gonna toggle back over to Teamzy. I'm gonna complete this logging of this connection. So that was a Facebook message, and there's a big button that says log connect. So when I click this, it now logs it in Teamzy. Teamzy now has a record of it. Okay, so on Janet's record, it shows that I sent her this message on this day. Are you guys with me? Now, what it did for Janet, you notice she's not on my dashboard anymore. She's gone. She's now cycled back in. She'll come back in 30 days. So if she doesn't respond to me, no big deal. In 30 days, she's on my dashboard again. Okay, next on my list is Jay. And what I'm going to do is just paste that same message in from my clipboard and change the name to Jay. Okay, you can reuse the message and the emojis easy every time for a bit. Now look, I copied that. Now we're going to toggle over to Jay. There she is. Do you guys see how easy it is? I mean, it's just really quick once you get jamming with it. You can do all this on your phone too if you like to work on your mobile phone. So that was Facebook message, log connect. Now, did you notice up here, you can see now I've got 2 done, 7 left. This little blue circle's filling in. So when I do, my goal is 9. So when I get to 9, that circle will be all the way solid. That means I'm done prospecting for today. Some of you are gonna be like, oh, it only took me 5 minutes and I'm done prospecting. Yep, when that blue circle is blue, you go to the next list, which is gonna be customers. Okay, so pretend I sent my 9 messages to my prospects. Now I'm going to go talk to customers. And again, it's just a matter of staying in touch with people so that you can make their day. And this is so important with customers. Now I'm just going to show you how easy it is. Go to Scripps. And when you go to Scripps for customers, you're going to find there's lots of scripts for you to use. Okay. So look at this one. Hi, John. I think it was Jennifer that we were going to send a message to. So I would change the name. Hi, Jennifer. How are you enjoying your tower garden? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Okay, I changed the word the products for the product he bought. Okay, are you guys with me? Please don't send it as the products in brackets. Change that out, but you get the idea. Okay, how are you enjoying your tower garden? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. It's not salesy, it's service oriented. It's just checking in. Now, here's another one that's cool that I love, which is, hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Right? How many of you use this one with customers? I know Janet has. Yeah, this one works amazingly. The responses you get are going to be so cool. So look, we're just going to copy that one just for sake of argument. And I'm just going to change the name. Okay, boom. I'm going to throw in a little smiley face. You guys with me? Okay, so I'm going to message my customers. Again, my goal is 6. I'm going to go down the list and message customers and log them in Teamzy as I go. Boom. And you can see the pink circle will start filling in. Now, this is just really important, really quick on this. When you're in regular contact this way with your customers, you don't need to create a complicated follow-up program for your customers. Okay. They don't need it. It doesn't need to be the day that it ships and all this stuff. If you stay in regular contact with them, you've got it covered. Does it make sense? So you can just use, this is so simple. It's easy to follow. You won't get overwhelmed by it. When they come up, you just send them a message. You'll be in touch with them. But what happens when you're in regular contact with your customers? There's 3 magical things that happen. The first one is it's excellent service. It's excellent service. How many of you guys would just like to provide that? Yeah. But the second thing that happens, and this is one of my favorite ones, is that when you're in regular contact with customers, they order more product and they retain longer. Okay, they order more product and they retain longer. I used to joke and call this the avocado on the cheeseburger, right? How many of you guys like a little avocado slice on your cheeseburger? Anyone? Maybe it's just me. I love avocados. If I was at a restaurant and I ordered a cheeseburger and you came by the table and said, I saw you ordered a cheeseburger. Would you like some avocado on that cheeseburger? I'm going to say yes every time. Do you think I'm concerned that it's going to be a $2 upcharge? No, it's going to make my burger awesome. Does this make sense? And so when you're in regular contact with people, that's what happens is they end up ordering more products. They end up ordering more products just because of the relationship, because you're there, because you're in touch. Make sense? We've seen team volumes go up 20% in 1 month when there's a Teamzy challenge. The whole team's volume. Is it because you guys have the software? No, it's because you're reaching out to customers. The third thing that happens, which is my favorite thing, and I think probably the most important thing long-term for your business is, well, let me just ask you guys a question. How many of you have at least one customer that you adore? Like you just wish, I need more customers like you. Like if I had 100 people like you, I'd be set, right? So where do you go find people like that? Where is it that you can find new customers like that? Is there a special message board that Juice Plus provides with people ready to go that are awesome? No, there's nowhere like that, right? No, the best place to find a new great customer is from a current great customer. There's no better place. This is true in any business. So if you've already got one that you adore, you're in good shape. That's all you need to build a business with, okay? But I want you guys to understand that the first step to getting introduced to the friends and family of the current customer that you love is by being in regular contact with them. Because if I'm not in regular contact with Janet, I can't ask her to introduce me to friends and family. Does it make sense? She's going to be like, why? So you can ignore them too, right? But if I'm in regular contact, we have great rapport. She's loving the service. I'm loving her. She's my customer that I love. And then it's easy for me to say, Janet, I know you've been getting great results taking your Juice Plus. I know you've had a great time, gardening with your tower garden. I'm sure you've showed it off. I'm sure you've talked to friends and family about Juice Plus. So before I get too busy this week, I just wanted to know, is there anybody you care about who needs more information about Juice Plus? I want to make sure they get the information they need before I get busy helping other people. Does this make sense? She's going to go, well, yeah, actually, I was talking to Debbie and I was talking to Janet the other day about it. They're both curious. Great. Would you mind introducing me really quickly to them? Whatever's easiest, just a group chat, group text, just a quick intro from you, and then I'll get them some information. Sound good? She's going to go, yeah, that'd be great. And now what just happened? She's introduced me to her friends who have some interest, right? Do you remember in the very beginning, I said relationship marketing depends on trust? Well, she needed to trust me to do that. But guess what? Janet and Debbie also trust me. Why? Because Janet trusts me. I know it's confusing because I use two Janets, but you get the idea. I'm looking at both of your faces. Because she trusts me, they trust me. I'm starting with people who already trust me. How awesome is that? Why? Because she introduced us. Does this make sense? This is how you build your business. Now, if I said to her, I know you're getting great results. I know you're really enjoying your tower garden. Please keep me in mind if you ever see anybody who needs this. She's going to say yes. And guess what? I'll never hear from her again when it comes to that. Does this make sense? So you got to ask for that introduction and then follow up on that introduction. But what happens now when her two friends are very interested now and ready to get started? What do I tell Janet? Have you guys thought about this? Because not only is this the best way to get new customers, but it's the best way to get new partners. Say, Janet, your two friends were lovely. Thank you for introducing me. They're both ready to get started, honestly. And I'm ready to sign them up. But before I sign them up, I just want to ask you one simple question. Have you ever considered doing what I do? Because I can sign them up as your people today, if you're interested. Are you guys with me? Yeah, because I think you'd be really good at this, Janet. I mean, look how easily you brought two new people to the business. You weren't even trying. Now, I know I'm doing the work, but that's okay because I'm going to teach you how to do that. Are you guys with me? Okay. So reaching out to your customers isn't just a neat idea. It's the key to the business. This is how you generate more sales. You get people to stick longer and you get introduced to new customers and you uncover the partners in your midst that are currently customers. Does it make sense? The next group is partners. These are the people who have already bought a franchise. Now I say it like that because I know you have people who aren't actively building the business, right? But if they have purchased the franchise, you should treat them as if they're an active member of your team. Okay. because they are, they've got a deeper level of commitment. So we're going to connect with our partners the same way. We're just going to connect, reach out to make their day. Okay. And again, we got Scripps in here. Trina comes up. Great. I go in and I'll send her something, seeing if there's anything I can do to make your day. How are you? You came up, and what's funny is you can even, once you get your whole team on Teamzy, you can even just say, Trina, you're on top of my Teamzy today. How the heck are you? Right? People will be like, oh, I'm on your Teamzy. That's great. Because everybody knows you're doing that. Okay. So you get the idea. You can send the message, right? And as you're logging, you go down your partner list and do it. If you have 2 partners on your team, this is going to be very easy. When you have, 50,000 partners like Kurt does, it'll take a little bit more intentionality. Are you with me? Okay. How many of you guys want to have that problem? Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to have that kind of problem. Of course, he doesn't reach out to everyone on his team. We're talking about first level people and leaders, right? So you've got prospects, customers, and partners. The first half of your power hour is just sending those make someone's day messages. It's super fun. You're going to get amazing responses. You'll be amazed at the positive responses you receive. Are you with me? So how do we now get to shares? Because all we're doing is making their day. How do I share the business with people? So I want you to kind of imagine this process. I just sent out 19 messages. Now the responses are coming back in, right? Responses are coming back in. And now you're having a chance to have a conversation with somebody. If you had said, hey, would you take a look at this Juice Plus video and tell me your opinion? People are going to be like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. But by just saying, hello, I hope you're having a great day. They're like, I am having a great day. How are you? And now you're having a conversation. Does this make sense? And so the goal of the conversation is to be very interested in them, to listen, to get to know what's going on in their life and look for ways to help these people. Maybe with Juice Plus, maybe not. Does it make sense? How fun is it that I'm here telling you 20 years as a business coach, the most effective way to build your business is to get focused on making people's day. And then when they respond, making them feel even better about their day, right? Learning about them, being interested in them, trying to find a way to help them. That's what our business is helping people. True? So we want to invest. So let's say Janet responds to my message. Great to hear from you, Eric. Oh my gosh, that was so nice. And so now I'm going to go, yeah, I was thinking about you, or what's been going on with you? What have you been up to since the last time we talked? Send me an update of what's going on in your life. I'm going to try to get her into a conversation. And as she tells me what's going on in her life, I'm just going to be interested. I'm going to be looking for ways to help her, right? And if she needs help with something, I'm going to help her. If she has a leaky roof she's complaining about, I'm going to say, I know a great roofing company. I'm going to send you their contact information, right? If she's trying to plan a party and I know a great party store, I'm going to tell her about that. Does this make sense? Sometimes I order people books from Amazon based on something they complained about that will help them with that area and send it to them. So how can I help you? That's the first goal. And as we're talking, she's telling me about what's going on in her life. It's going to be really natural now and expected for me to tell her what's going on in my life. True? Now, will every single person you message in Teamzy have this deep conversation about their life with you? No, of course not. But as we message people, they'll warm up over time. Make sense? So here she is. We're talking. Now I'm going to tell her what's going on in my life. I'm going to tell her, we've had a big, oh my gosh, it has been a big couple of months for the Johnson family. Kids went back in school. Except we didn't put the kids back in school because schools are crazy around here in Southern California. So then we had to figure out how to get them educated without putting it right. So like all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Oh, did I tell you also I started a from home business with this company called Juice Plus. Have you ever heard of them, Janet? So I'm going to part of what I'm doing is telling her what's going on in my life, telling her about my new puppies, my kids, and my Juice Plus business. It's not a big deal. It's part of my life. Does this make sense? So I want you guys, people who are like, Eric, how do I talk about the business without being salesy? You don't make a big deal out of it. It's just part of your life. I started in business with Juice Plus. It's been amazing. And this is what you tell them, what you're doing and why you're passionate about it. What you're doing and why you're passionate about it. Could all of you, if I asked you, why are you passionate about Juice Plus? How many of you guys could answer it? So that just needs to come off your tongue. So in my example, I was a Beachbody coach when I was doing network marketing. I lost 60 pounds. It was life-changing for me. I got healthy. And I was really excited to help other people do it. And I told people that I started a home-based business with this company, Beachbody. They helped me lose 60 pounds, which was life-changing. Now I'm paying it forward and helping other people do the same. It's been so incredibly rewarding. Guess what people said every single time? Wow, that's great, Eric. Good for you. Okay, so share what you do and why you're passionate about it, and people will be excited for you. And then you just ask them. And if you ever come across anybody, Janet, who needs help in this area, please let me know. I'd be happy to help them. I'm on a mission to help as many people as I can. Or even if you'd like more information, just let me know. Okay? It's not a big deal. But you always, guys, I just want to say this to you. Always invite your friends to learn more. When you tell somebody about what you're doing and why you're passionate about it and don't invite them to learn more because you're worried about being pushy or salesy, you've just made them wonder why you don't care enough about them to share the thing you're passionate about with them. Make sense? So always don't hide that light, right? Always say, oh, if you'd like to learn more about it, Janet, let me know. I'd be happy to get you more info. So I'm not pushing it on you, but I'm always inviting you. Make sense? Are you guys with me? I know, a little extra. I'm out of the software. Let's get back in the software. So what happens is Janet says, that sounds really cool. I think I would like to learn more about it. I have been looking for something, I think I'm ready to get out of the teaching career and have more flexibility in my life. I think I would like to look at this. Okay, great. Let's set up a time. We'll talk some more. So what I would do now is I want to get her off of chit chat on Messenger and get her on to a live Zoom or FaceTime or call. Make sense? So that's what I would do next is I would say, hey, let's jump on Zoom so we can talk for a few minutes. I want to hear what your goals are and see if it's maybe Juice Plus something that would work for you. Great. So we jump on a Zoom. We have a great conversation and I share the business opportunity with her. How do I log that in Teamzy? You guys ready? First off, I'm going to look her up in the lookup bar because she's not on my dashboard anymore. That takes me to her contact record. And you can see the message I sent her is there. There's the record of our conversations. I'm going to click on connect. And this time, instead of it being a regular connect, I'm going to click on share. See share on the bottom left. And I'm going to say this was a business opportunity share. Okay. And then I'm going to log this. I'm going to put all, oh, no, it wasn't a Facebook message, was it? That was going to be a video chat because we were on a Zoom. I'm going to put all the notes from our Zoom here. I would probably have this, honestly, I would have this open while we were Zooming and I would be taking notes while we talked. And I always ask people, do you mind if I take notes while we talk? Because I want to make sure that I understand clearly everything that you're telling me. They always say, no, I don't mind. And I think people are kind of amazed that you're listening so intently that you're taking notes on what they're saying. Does this make sense? So I put the notes in there. Now notice when I turned this over to a share, it toggled this right here, which is the follow-up. So it defaulted to 2 days, but what it did was it took, because I did a share, instead of just cycling her back through the connect cycle, which in her case as a 5-star person, she would come back in 30 days. It took her out of that cycle and put her onto the follow-ups list because I shared. Make sense? The follow-ups list is like your pipeline of people who've said, yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more. So now I'm going to follow up professionally with those people. So it automatically put her on the follow-up. I'm going to click on that though, because I want it tomorrow, not in 2 days. And so I'm going to log this. So what it did was you can see now it logged our video chat. It has all the notes from our Zoom and it scheduled that follow-up for tomorrow. See, it's scheduled for tomorrow. If I go to my dashboard and click on follow-ups, there she is, due tomorrow. I don't know if you can see that. It's yellow. It says tomorrow. It's yellow when it's tomorrow. It's green when it's more than 2 days away, and it's red when it's due. Make sense? Okay. So one little thing that I always like to follow up the next day, and here's a little tip I'm going to give you, is when you're talking to somebody, tell them, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow and see if you have any questions. Okay. Or I'll check in with you tomorrow, see if you have any questions. Always tell them you're going to do it. Because then when you do it, it's completing a promise. Does this make sense? And the trust is built by making promises and keeping them over time. Making promises and keeping them over time. Now, when you promise to follow up, following up is always about keeping your promise. It's not about pestering somebody, which I love too. Does this make sense? Okay. So tomorrow when I do my power hour really quick, we'll get to Q&A here in a second because I know I'm a little over. We're going to go to our prospects, our customers, our partners, send the messages. Then I'm going to see if I have any follow-ups due. Oh, I'll have one due with Janet. Great. So then I'll send her a follow-up message. This is just like sending a make your day message. I'm going to go to Scripps. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to look for follow-ups. Okay. So here's follow-up number 1. It reads like this. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay. And I'm going to see, like I've promised I would, copy the script. Now we're going to send it to her really quick. Put the right name in there. Copy that sucker and go send it to her on Facebook. There's Janet. Okay. So a follow-up message is just a message. It literally takes you 10 seconds. Okay. Following up is not intimidating with Teamzy. It's so easy. So I send her that quick message and then I log it in Teamzy. Now, what happens when I log a follow-up message is a little different. Watch what happens when I log it. It says, does this complete today's follow-up that you had scheduled? So yes, I want to leave that checked, but I also want to click on add another follow-up. See right there? So now let's say I'm going to follow up again on Monday. Okay, so I'll set that in there. I'll leave myself a note that that's follow-up number 2 that she's getting on Monday. Are you with me? So now I've created that follow-up. Now it asks me, okay, so we've got one scheduled for Tuesday or Monday, whenever I set it for, and we're checking off today's follow-up. Great, I'll complete that. Okay. So now you can see the follow-ups due Monday, next follow-up. So Monday, when Monday comes along and I'm doing my power hour, Janet will be red. I'll see, oh, I got to send her the next follow-up. I'll come in here to my scripts. I'll go to follow-ups. I'll get follow-up number 2. Okay. Hi, Jane, just making sure you got my message and checking to see if you have any questions. Are you guys with me? Do you see how easy this is? Super easy. So what we're going to do is continue to send her follow-up messages. Every time I send her a message, I'll schedule another one a few days later. Okay. And every time she comes up, I'll send her the next message. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I have 10, by the way, in here for you. 10 in order. So you really don't have to do any thinking. Are you guys with me? Super easy. But this is so important because oops. All right. Let's see if it come back in. Okay, good. It did come back in. This is super important because following up is the key to the business. You have all these conversations. I've given you guys some tips on how to do it without being overly salesy or pushy, but you get people interested and the following up is the key. Some people will take lots of follow-ups to convert. So here's the statistic. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Okay, 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up, which means that only about 20% of people will actually convert when you follow up 2 or 3 times. Does this make sense? Most people don't follow up more than 3 times. So they're getting less than 20% of their conversions. Here's what I want you guys to understand. Following up isn't something that we do to be annoying or to be pests. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. I know some of you guys are familiar with me saying that. That's why you keep coming back to my trainings. But honestly, are you in this business to help people? How many of you believe you can really help people? You can life-changing help. Yeah. So, but until they have their Juice Plus in their hands, you're not really helping them, right? The only thing that you have available to help them is your ability to follow up like you promised you would. It's keeping your promise. Does this make sense? So it's like, I'm looking at Sharon. So Sharon, she's interested. She's got a problem. We talked about getting a quad for her and she's convinced it's just what she needs. And then she got busy. So she didn't finish signing up for it. Right. So now I'm following up because why? Because she asked for my help and I'm going to fulfill my promise to help her. Now, if I continue to follow up with her, she'll know I care. If I stop following up because I've created stories in my mind about why she's not responding, she's going to understand I don't care and that I just wanted the sale. Now I'm frustrated with her. Does this make sense? So even though you think following up 10 times seems annoying, you need to know that is how you love people through the process. Now, here's what happens. You can be annoying if you do it wrong, which is why I just follow my scripts. My scripts follow the 2 principles that allow you to follow up without being annoying. Those principles are really simple. The first one is when you follow up, you don't ask them to do anything, right? You're just present with your follow-up. Don't ask them to do anything. And the second principle is the follow-up has to be short enough they can read the whole thing without opening it. Okay, they have to be able to read the whole thing without opening it, because a lot of times people won't open the message because they don't want to send the read receipt because they're busy. Right? Melissa's laughing. She does this. Okay. You're like, right, driving the car, you're making raw chicken, your dog's throwing up in the baby, whatever. You're not going to respond right now, but you still look at the phone, don't you? Because you want to get the message to see who it's from. That happened to me 3 times in this call. I should have put my phone on do not disturb. Look at how many messages I got. It's crazy. Always put them on do not disturb when you're doing a training. So, and I'm not going to open any of those, right? Until I can respond to them. It's the same thing. So anyways, here's what happens. Somebody's interested, like Janet's my person. She's excited. Yes, I can't wait. This is just what I needed. I can't wait. Sign me up. Yep, let's do it. And then I go check back office. She didn't do anything. I send her a follow-up. A couple of days later, still hasn't done anything. I send her another follow-up. She doesn't respond. A few days later, send her another follow-up. She still doesn't respond. Now I'm starting to go, maybe she's not interested. Does this happen to you guys? But again, her life's just happening. So a few more days later, I send her another follow-up. No response. But what's happening on her end? She's seeing these messages. She's seeing them. And every time she sees the message, she knows I care. She knows that I keep my promises, that I'm a person of character. And every time she sees them, she's getting a little dose of hope that she felt on the conversation with me when she was excited. Make sense? So what happens is most people won't respond at all to 6, even 7 follow-ups. Has this happened to you guys? This is normal. This is typical. Okay. But around 7, 8, they'll respond usually with I'm so sorry I haven't responded to you. Thank you for staying in touch. And now you're back in the conversation with them. So Teamzy makes this process easy by taking the worry and the anxiety out of it. You go through, you make people's day, you have great conversations. Even if you screw up and you miss them, they come back up on Teamzy. So not much time passes. They can't fall through the cracks. When you find people that are interested and share with them, you put them on that follow-ups list. Every time they come up due, you just send them the next follow-up message. Again, you don't have to think about it. But what happens is you do this consistently 4 or 5 days a week. At the end of the month, you'll be shocked at how many converted. Does this make sense? And that's how you're seeing people. You're hearing about people like Janet, who are like, boom, just ranked up in October, 2 ranks. Like, how did she do that? Well, she didn't do it in October. She started it earnestly in March, right? Even earlier, but she started getting consistent and consistent and consistent, and it started building that momentum. It's like, bam, and it happens, right? So this is how Teamzy works. It's all about just being consistent, a little bit each day, 30 minutes, 1 hour, just being consistent, just, sending messages, following up with people. But you don't, again, like I said, you don't have to think. You just follow the prompts in Teamzy, and you'll be amazed at what happens at the end of the month. Sound cool? Okay, before I get to Q&A, let me just go through, I got a couple more slides on my thing, and then we'll do some Q&A with you guys. Wait, where did my presentation go? Did I close it? Yeah. Here it is. All right. This is me with the.
One thing while you're looking for that, Eric, too, I just want to clarify too, is when you reach out to connect with somebody and then they respond back and you have a conversation going back and forth to them, those are not separate connects. That's one connect. That's the same conversation going with the one, because we don't blog it as multiple connects. And that conversation, what you choose to put in Teamzy with that conversation is totally up to you. I do not put everything. If I'm going back and forth with somebody, I do not put that all into Teamzy. I just copy and paste the important sentence or phrase or pieces of it that I just want to capture, like, oh, they started a new job. Oh, they have a dog named Bingo, or whatever the important parts are. I just copy that part and put it in that connect for that day. So I have it all in one connect.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, you're going to log 1 million connects per person. The biggest thing that's important with Teamzy is that you log that initial connect, so it resets their clock in Teamzy in case they don't respond. Okay, and then whenever you log a share, you want to log that in Teamzy too, so that it begins the follow-up process for them. Okay, so really quick on this. I know we already did this slide, so let me get past it. But just a couple things again to go through when you look at Teamzy. I told you guys teamzy.com/JP to start your free trial if you're not in Teamzy. But just to keep in mind, these are some of the things that are included with your Teamzy subscription. Is you get the full CRM, which means contact relationship management system, which is the type of software Teamzy is. But more than that boring software, it's the Power Hour module is included, which helps you know exactly what to do with whom, what to say, and not have to think about it, right? So you'll be able to find every contact, customer, and conversation at any time in Teamzy. You'll have your intelligent module to help you crush your Power Hour each day. You'll be able to view and track your leads at any time and get your team motivated too. Can you guys imagine how organized you're going to feel? I know. Also, you'll be able to see your performance as you go. Scripps Library, we mentioned this, but this is a huge leg up for you having the Scripps Library. Again, these aren't salesy scripts. These are conversational scripts, right? Designed for Facebook, Messenger, text, or any type of touch point. They're all in there. I even have scripts in here on how to write a handwritten card to somebody. Did you guys know that? Those are in there. They're a collection of conversation starters for staying in touch, follow-ups, and reconnecting. And you can also create your own scripts and save them in your Teamzy account for later. So your own scripts will be at your fingertips to grab and paste. Okay, so maybe you even just modify mine a little and save your version, which is pretty cool. Now, one of the things I'm passionate about, you may have figured out by now, is I love to train. I love to teach people how to do relationship marketing. And, you know, who knew I was going to build a software platform? But as we've gotten into it, we've needed to provide more and more training on the business end of things for people. So one of the things that's included in your Teamzy subscription is the Ultimate Mindset Training Suite. Now, we also offer other courses for additional investment, but this one's included in your subscription. And this includes what I call goal setting on steroids. This is not the official title, but if you're over 40, you get the joke on steroids. If you're not, you probably don't, but that's all good. So we're going to show you how to do BHAGs, which are your big, hairy, audacious goals, the ones your spouse will giggle when you share with them. They're going to go, your goals, what? Because if no one's laughing at those goals are not big enough. We're going to teach you how to set SMART goals. Those are the goals that you're going to achieve over the next 3 months to 3 years. Okay. And we're going to help you create a personal business standard, which is your daily business minimums, right? So we'll talk about that too. So this is a 3-part training suite, which is pretty cool. Also, there's training on how to uncover your why, which is the emotional motivation for your business. I think the turnover rate in our business is huge because people don't understand their why. So it's a real simple training on how to find that for yourself. And then deeper trainings on relationship marketing, like we talked about today. So that training suite is included in your Teamzy subscription, which is pretty cool. Okay, you guys got all that? Now, I should have had a slide here announcing the fact that we have a special relationship with Juice Plus. So there's a special rate for you. Teamzy, the typical rate for Teamzy is $29.99 a month, which is $1 a day, which is super cheap. But for you guys, it's even better, a third off. So for Juice Plus partners, the Teamzy subscription is only $19.95 a month. Okay, $19.95 a month. That you can go month to month. There's no contract that you have to keep forever. And then if you're really in love with Teamzy, you can do it 12 months at a time, annual subscription, and you save even more. It's $198 for 12 months. Okay, so keep in mind, you get your free trial. Go in and start your free trial. Here's your action steps. Oh, there it is. Go to teamzy.com/JP, start your free trial. If you're already in your free trial, set up your subscription so you don't miss a beat when the 14 days is up. Okay. We won't actually bill your card until your free time is up, but you can put it in there so it bills and you keep going. I also suggest you choose a success partner or partners to do the trial with you. If you're already in Teamzy, you need to still partner up and do a 30-day blitz, something to get yourself moving, okay? But a success partner or partners is huge. I do this in all my boot camps because it works really well. Janet, didn't you say you and Debbie met this way?
Right. It's Debbie and I were accountability partners.
Yeah. So and you also create lasting friendships this way. So what you guys do with this is you just, first of all, share your goals. Like, here's what I want to do for the next 2 weeks or the next 4 weeks in Teamzy. And then each day when you as much as you can do in Teamzy, you take a screenshot of that dashboard and message it over to your partner, your buddies. Okay. What happens is you didn't do anything today, but you get the text from your friends. Now you feel like you need to go do it, which is good. It's the accountability, right? It pushes you. Without accountability partners, success partners, what tends to happen is that free trial that disappears without you logging in. Right? Makes sense. How many of you have done that before? So here's the thing. It's like, it's all good. I'd love you to get your free trial, but I want this to be like a seminal moment in your business. I want you to blow up your business this month. Okay. I want you to blow up your business this month. So you can't do that unless you're actually using it. Also, we have this really cool 30-day challenge that we built for Juice Plus. It's teamzy.com/JP30, which will give you a structured plan for 30 days. How many of you guys need structure? So if you guys do this, if you go to teamzy.com/JP30, there's a really cool structured plan that you can follow along and really crush your 30 days. We built this actually for the virtual conference last year. I had the opportunity to speak on it, and we built that for you guys. Okay. And also I'm going to give you one more challenge, 5-day challenge. Gosh, Eric, you're giving me so many things to do. It's okay. I just want you guys to be successful. So my challenge is use Teamzy 5 days in a row and connect with 100 people. Okay. What do I mean by connect with? I mean, just send them a message. So message 100 people over 5 days, 20 a day. Do you guys think you could do that? Now, here's why I want you to do it. 5-day challenge. It's going to blow your mind. You'll probably be overwhelmed with the response you get, but that's okay. I want you to feel the momentum you can create just by being intentional for 5 days. We're coming into a period of time in the fall where a lot of people believe it's a slow time for our business. I think this is the time when if you're intentional, you can be busier than ever. See, because in the fall and in the fall coming into winter is when people connect the most, right? Around the holidays and stuff, we're connecting, we're talking, we're associating with people the most, we're breaking bread the most with people, and we're also opening our wallets more than any other time. Make sense? So you guys are coming into an amazing season here. And so we'll start you off. Who's in for the 5-day challenge? Let me see your hands. Public accountability. See that? Now people have seen it. You have to do it. People have seen you do it. It's good. Okay. Who's got questions? I'm going to stop talking now. I said everything I need to say. Whew. Anybody have questions, ahas, anything they want to share? And I'd be happy to answer them. Janet, you're muted.
Thank you, everyone who's been able to hang in there. It's a lot of information. As we said, it'll be recorded, so you can go back and listen to it in bits and pieces as you're able to. It's a lot to process, but gosh, as you figure it out and get grooving and moving with it, it's super, super powerful to be able to do. It really is simple and duplicatable and powerful, and it works. It absolutely works. So what questions do you have? Those, if you need to go. If you've got dinner, kids, school, like all that kind of stuff going to, then by all means, please go. Know that you would love for. Remember tonight that we have Tony Branner is doing the new Juice Plus live talk at 8 o'clock, followed by the Possibilities Family Call at 8:30 p.m. And we start doing a cash giveaway for those that join live on the team meeting at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. So heads up on those. But what questions do you guys have? What you wondering?
I've got a question. Hey, Eric, thanks so much for this training.
My pleasure.
Question, you had said that when you're in touch with your customers that much that you really don't need to talk to them, much. But what about when their order is ready to reship? I always check with them to make sure that they're ready. So is there one for that?
Well, here's my thought on that is if you're in regular contact with them, then you're already in contact. You know what I mean? So if they're getting if they have too much product, they'll let you know. If they need more, they'll let you know, right? So rather than the reason I'm calling is to see if you want this shipment, I'm just always present. Does that make sense? So think about like a 5-star restaurant. Actually, sometimes you get 5-star service in a diner, right? But think of a place with excellent service. They don't always come by for a specific reason. They just come by to see if you're having a good time. Is there, are you enjoying what you're doing? Is there anything I can get for you? Right. So it's just like this, the presence is the service, right? And so that's why I believe that if you're using Teamzy consistently, it replaces that because you're just in a more natural flow. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So it still hits that need, but what happens is if you miss that day or you're not right on it, then it's like, oh, I blew that. It's just, no. I still want to be in touch. Does that make sense? So that's just my opinion on it. Now I have stepped on toes of leaders all the time because they're like, Eric, I teach my people they need to do this, 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 and this, and you're telling them they don't have to. Well, it's because I know that your people aren't really doing that. They can't keep up with it. It's too complicated. So I give them an easier alternative that achieves the same thing. Does that make sense? Now,
Yes.
Juice Plus is pretty simple. You guys don't have overly complicated things, but some of my other companies, they have like 5 different touch points where they want people to reach out to every customer on these dates. And that's so hard to manage. And most people, if they're not using Teamzy, I don't know how they're doing it, like on a pad of paper to remind them to, right, here's the people I need to message. So it gets kind of complicated. Does that make sense? So I'm giving you permission to do it however you want. But I think that if you get consistent, just doing it as they come up in Teamzy, you're going to be providing excellent service and you're good to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. One more question. When you've got a new customer, and because for my new customers, I usually, when they first get their order and then a week later or 10 days later, and then so would they come under that one called shares? So it can be weekly or every 2 weeks? Because in your other ones, it was only monthly, like every 30 days was a list.
So when you get a new customer, what you can do, Lisa, is you could just set like 4 follow-ups for that customer.
Okay.
On that day, like as soon as they buy, you can set the follow-up for all the dates you want to follow up.
Okay.
And then when you've gone through that first, however many, it's like 6 weeks, right? That you guys do that. And then after that, you can take them off the follow-ups list and just let them go into the regular flow for customers.
Regular flow. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I do, Lisa, when I have a new customer, I was scheduling them all and it was driving me crazy. So instead what I do is they place an order, I schedule a follow-up a week later to make sure they got their product. And in the follow-up, I'll just put got product, question mark. And then when I do that follow-up, if I've been really good and done my follow-up when I should, right? And life didn't happen and it got bumped back a couple days. That's why I don't schedule them all at once because life happens. So when I do that follow-up, make sure they got their product, then I'll schedule another follow-up for a week later. So for my new customers, I'll do 4 weeks, like that. The first 3 weeks is once a week. Then the second and third month is every 2 weeks. And that 4th month, I've got that need to order shipping in 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay. So if it's the newbies, I stay close because my new customers, I want them to be really loved and educated and supported. I want to make sure they're being consistent. But I schedule one follow-up, and then when I do that follow-up, I put the next one.
Okay.
And you can, when you click it, one thing Eric didn't show you is when you follow with them, because you show a lot, but the one more thing is you mark it as a sale. So when somebody orders product, you mark it as a sale and a little money bag will show up in your list of activity. So I know exactly when they ordered it.
Yeah.
So if I lose track and I'm like, gosh, has it been a month or 2 months? What has it been? I can go look at my activity and I can see, oh, it was July 17th they ordered. So August 17th, September 17th. Okay, it's been 2 months. That's where we're at in the cycle, and I can follow with it too. But if it's someone who's just reordering, they're just in the Teamzy flow. I don't overload your follow-ups. You'll drive yourself crazy.
Right. But
that's a key point, which is the follow-ups you really want to keep for like your pipeline of people who are interested. So when you're following up, when you're setting follow-ups for customers, you don't want to overdo it, right? So that's why I said, like, for those 6 weeks, set all the follow-ups for them, but then after that, just let them go into the flow. Because you don't want your follow-up list to be too long on your power hours. You'll get overwhelmed. This happens to people. So they say, well, I don't want them to come up when they come up. I want to follow up on the 15th. So I'm going to set all these follow-ups. Okay, great. Now you get to your second half of your power hour and your follow-ups list says 600. You're like, what?
Thank you so much.
Your thing.
Yeah. You can also adjust your circles is one thing that I found as I'm coaching people through Teamzy is put your circles at what you can comfortably do every day. So if you look at that and it's like 9 prospects and you're like, I can't do 9 prospects every day, you can adjust it. We talk about the consistency chain a lot in our team about setting that goal every single day. It's something that you can do easily every day without even thinking twice about it.
Yeah.
So that's my numbers are set. Sorry, there's someone selling something knocking on my door. Not sure what they're selling, but we're not going to answer. Really, we're not here. So what was I saying? I got distracted by the order.
Your numbers are set at.
Oh, so I set the numbers at what's comfortable so that every day I get that consistency chain dopamine drop of, oh, look, my circle's filled.
Yeah.
My circle's filled. I want that like boom, boom, boom. I got them all filled in, because if you set them too high and your circles are never filled in, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to stop doing it. So you can always go more. Like mine literally are like at like 4, 3, and 1. Like they're very low but like I can knock that out and then I just go above and beyond. I mean, they're typically more like 15, 7, and 5, but I don't set the bar there every day.
Yeah. Any other questions? You guys are
There was-
troopers. You hung in late.
One question that Tessie asked in here was, is there a way to put the text messages in Teamzy? And she's struggling because she does things on her phone and her laptop. So know that there is an app version of Teamzy that you can, it's not an app, but you can set it up like an app. So if that's something you need help with, let me know. I can help you set that
Yeah.
up. But it's just like, it looks just like the regular Teamzy on your phone. Like it looks just like it. And if, for me, I have an Apple phone and an Apple laptop. So when I copy on one thing, I paste it, it just pastes in the other. So I can go back and forth between the two very easily. So that's the solution for that.
Yeah, you can use your phone. I'd say 80% of our Teamzy family is on their mobile phones, not their computers. But also, if you like to work on a computer, I mean, there are texting apps. So if you're on Apple, if you have an iPhone and a Mac, then Messages is the same. But Google has a text app as well. So if you have a Google phone, you can get the Google texting app on your computer, and you'll be able to text directly from your computer, and it'd be the same as sending it from your phone. So I'm not the person that set that up for you, but you can get that done if you like. If you're like me and you like to have a full keyboard, I'm terrible on my phone with my big thumbs. That's just me. But I know, like my wife, she lives on her phone. Everything's on her phone. She would use the Teamzy on her phone. So
I'm hooked on voice texting. So if you just say it, it'll type it for you, but you just got to proofread it really carefully.
yeah, and your phone lets you do, your phone lets you text, it lets you call, it lets you have all your social media apps. I mean, you can do everything on your phone because all of those things are geared for mobile. So it is easier to do the connecting that way, but it just depends on where you're more comfortable.
So cool. Eric, I have one more question just for you and just for me to ask you, but if anybody else has questions, otherwise let you guys go. But I just had one more question before I let Eric go. Anyone else have any other questions?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
I have one quick question.
Hi, Katie. Katie, thank you for hopping on after
Hey.
work today. You're amazing.
So most of my customers and stuff currently are very close, either family or friends, where it might seem awkward to be randomly messaging like
Yep.
at a 30-day interval. So I guess what are your recommendations on someone that you're talking to maybe regularly, but you're not always maybe talking about Juice Plus? But like, and I know you're not going to be doing that on Teamzy either with, you're not always connecting on Juice Plus, but like I have 2 customers I work with. So we talk about work a lot. So I guess I'm just trying to visualize how I make it not awkward, that I just be like, hey, I talked to you yesterday about this, but let me just say, how are you doing? I don't know.
Well, I mean, like if you're in Teamzy and your power hour is like your best friend comes up on the list, you just talk to them. You don't have to send them a new message. You can just talk to her, just log it. Like you're in contact with those people, if that makes sense. I know, like when I was doing my business, I had a lot of customers from work. So at work, we chit chat, but we didn't talk about that product line or that business at work. So that's when I would at home, I would message them like, hey, it was great chatting with you at work. Just checking in with regards to your Juice Plus to see if you need anything or if you need support with anything. Does that make sense? I think Katie froze, but hopefully she'll get what I'm saying to her. But so that's how I would approach that, is like, this is like the professional reach out that you need to do every once in a while from the Juice Plus standpoint. I wanted to make sure you're taken care of. I loved chit chatting with you today. You're awesome. You know what I mean? So you could do that like extra little thing like that sometimes. But again, if you're talking to them all the time, then you can just, when they come up on Teams, you can just log. Talked to her yesterday. It was great. Move on. I know that, Katie, I think you froze. Did you hear that? Kinda. You're muted again. Hold on. Let me unmute. Oh, they changed so much in Zoom. I can't unmute her. I can just ask her to unmute. That's weird.
There. She's unmuted.
There you
Sorry. Yeah, my phone completely dropped my service for a minute. I guess I drove through a dead spot. So I heard the beginning of it and I caught the last 3 words. I can watch the recording, so you don't have to repeat it.
Yeah.
I can watch the recording.
Basically,
Okay.
follow up professionally every once in a while. You don't have to record all the casual chit chat with friends. Follow up professionally. You just want to make sure, like, hey, I'm just checking on your product, making sure you're taken care of.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah. The other thing is, with friends, sometimes it's a little bit, you have somebody who really trusts you, which is good, but at the same time, they don't always trust you as a business icon yet. Right. So you have to, with friends, that's really important. When we talked about demonstrating your competence, it's important that they're seeing you grow your business and seeing you grow in your competence and your confidence towards the product, because they already love you. That's why you're friends, but they don't really maybe see you yet as the next tycoon in Juice Plus. So that takes time to, like, I know, like, for example, with me, it was like, oh, that's cool. You want a prize. And then it was like, 6 months later, I was going to Cancun, all expenses paid. They're like, what? How'd you go to Cancun? It's like, because I helped this many people and then I won a free trip. They're like, wow. So it was like, suddenly they were like taking me seriously because they were seeing that those milestones happen. Does that make sense? And then, as your confidence grows. So that's why I think, Katie, the part you missed was just every once in a while messaging them, like, from a professional standpoint, like, hey, I know we just talked today and it was so cool to catch up. I wanted to message you as your Juice Plus rep, see if you need anything, if you had any questions about the product. I mean, I know we're friends, but I'm also always here for you as your Juice Plus person. Makes sense? So just like something like that every once in a while. Okay.
And Eric, I'll let you stop the recording as well too. And if I have one more question for you as well too.
Okay, well, thank you guys. I'm going to officially stop the recording. Thank you for having me, you guys. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon, and welcome to the Teamzy family.